ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात्कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ मंत्र 13 अंगुष्ठमात्रः पुरुषः ज्योतिरिवाधूमकः ईशानो भूतभव्यस्य सेवाद्य सौष्वः एतद्वैतत्. In the Bhashyam, we were seeing this anena na ayamasti iti cha eke iti ayam pakshah न्यायतः अप्राप्तः अपि स्ववचनेन श्रुत्या प्रत्युक्तः तथा क्षणभङ्गवादश्च अनेन अनेन मन्त्रेण. Through this mantra, a certain Purvapaksha is refuted. What's a Purvapaksha? There are people in the world who says there is no Atma. Na ayam asti. Na ayam Atma asti cha eke. Some few people, one group of people, let's say. Eke means one group of people. Ayam Atma nasti. There is no Atma. What Atma they are talking, all these people? Yeah. Charvakas. They say this body alone is Atma. Atma is what? Consciousness. Body is conscious? Yeah, that is Atma. Body is Atma. So as the body comes into the being, Atma comes into the being. Body dies, Atma dies. That's it. There is no Atma. ये क्या बता रहे हो? What are you saying? Oh, rebirth and the past birth and all. This is all humbug. Look at that. Bhashyakara wants to say Svavacharena Shrutya Yuktaha. And Nyayataha. Logically also we can immediately refute them. But anyway, so Anena Mantrena Ayam Atma Nasti iti cha eke Pakshaha Pratyuktaha. Answered. If someone says whether there is Atma or not, well, etc., then it is answered here. So there is no Atma, it is decimated. And this Charvaka says what, we may say that, the body is inert. Body is not conscious. When the person dies, whole body is there. But you call, you touch, right? He doesn't hear. He doesn't have any, they put in a cold storage. It should say, please give me some covering. How can I? Nothing. No feeling of touch. Not able to see when sometimes eyes also remain open. Right? Sometimes eyes are open. Everything is there. Whole body is there, but not conscious. Therefore, body is consciousness, you cannot say. Hmm. Consciousness has gone, body is there. Inner body. He says, this Charvaka laughs. He says, oh, Vedantin, you know what happens is when the elements, when they combine in a certain manner, in a certain proportion, then consciousness arises in that. And when there is a disturbance in that in that composition, well, ultimately the consciousness leaves that. Consciousness dies there. Atma dies. And they give example, or very many examples they give. One of the example is that khana, pan, you know? Yeah. Take that green leaf and then our supari, betel nut, and then what is that? Katha, and then lime, chuna. All are which color? One is green, one is white, one is brown, right? And the beetle, that also is brown kind of a thing. And you combine them and mix with your colorless saliva, colorless, what happens? Something new property arises or not? What? Red. Same thing. Same way, here five elements combine in a certain fashion, right? In a certain manner, in consciousness, a new property which is not there in the body, not there in the elements, emerges. They give you other example also of preparation of the wine, etc. So there also it is the same thing. So you take this, the juice, grape juice or something, and then you add certain yeast or something, and you keep it, store it for some time. Then a new thing emerges or not? Alcohol, right? Alcohol has a different property. If I take grapes, even 300 grams, I will not be intoxicated, right? The yeast cannot intoxicate you. The grapes cannot intoxicate you, but when they combine together, gives rise to a new thing. Therefore, consciousness can arise in the body. And therefore, as a person, the body becomes old, the proportion, etc., will change in the body. That is how Vayu is more in the old people. All the time, oh, oh, oh. And all the time, everywhere, anywhere, anything he lifts, any part of it, its limb, it just tries to lift. Oh, lot of pain. Knee, pain. In the hands, pain. Everywhere, back, pain. Why? So, the proportion of the elements changes, then that property will go away. Consciousness, which is a property, will go away. Therefore, Atma is decimated. Body dies, Atma dies. Body is born, Atma is born. There is no rebirth and all that. Therefore, खाओ पियो और मजा करो. Yeah. ये क्या? This is a pap karma, and then next birth, all you have to suffer and you have to bear and all that. Do good karmas that will reap you the very nice results in the next life and all. Forget about it. There is nothing like that. So, runam krutva ghritam pibet. Runam krutva. Even you drink every day. मिल्क लो अच्छे से, चीज खाओ, पनीर, सब खाओ, एवरीथिंग, ग्रीक योगर्ट, डोंट लीव एनीथिंग. देह को पुष्ट बनाओ. देहे पुष्टे अहम पुष्ट. When body is nourished, body being atma, I am nourished, right? And that's what people say also. That's what they say. Swamiji, I am getting very much nourishment nowadays. because I changed my diet. I am nourished. Understand? How many people say? Billions of people say. All billions of people say. Nobody says I am a distinct from this body. Body is nourished. Nobody says. Somebody, if they don't say, but they may be having their understanding. No understanding. They say I am nourished. Dehe pushte, aham pushtaha. Dehe nashte, aham nashtaha. Body dies, I die, etc., etc. And runam krutva. So naturally, all these materials are not butter and all. Paneer and cream cheese and all so costly materials. So whatever money you have, you spend to make you pushta. And if money is dried up, you don't have money, runam, borrow from somebody. But then I will have to pay back. Don't worry about it. Once you are gone, when the body is gone, you are gone. Okay? Right? So let him come out to the home and once you are gone, what to worry about? Bhashyakara is answering two ways. Shruti. If we just say Shruti, if we just say Shruti, then you say, we don't believe in your Veda. But Nyayataha, reasoning. Anyway, so we just ask first this question. What is the means of knowledge you have to say that there is no Atma? Tell us, right? When you say there is no Atma, means you have this knowledge that there is nothing called Atma or Atma is decimated. And that is what you are propagating elsewhere also, thinking that that is the right thing, that is a knowledge. Naturally, you have gained this knowledge, we appreciate you. But tell us the means of knowledge by which you have come to know this. That's it. Any knowledge is any knowledge is born through means of knowledge. Any knowledge is called knowledge or valid through means of knowledge. If you don't utilize the means of knowledge and you make certain statement and tell others that this is the knowledge, this is a fact, rather, if you say that way, nobody is going to believe that. Right? And therefore, what is the means of knowledge you employ to say, I am Atma Nasti? Oh, well, I saw death of Atma. Well, I saw death of Atma. I saw the absence of Atma. We give answer that, look, we will bring science first. And without science also we can reply. Body is left behind. Okay? There is no consciousness. There is no Atma. That is on all the paksha, one thing is common. Everyone say consciousness is Atma. But what is that consciousness? Limitless or a spark or just in the form of the body? That's where the differences are. In various philosophies, nobody says the inert thing is Atma. That everyone says consciousness is Atma. But the Charvaka says the body is conscious, sentient, sentient to touch, sentient to heat, cold. This is sentient. Therefore, consciousness is Atma, body is conscious, the body is Atma. That's the point. Anyway, so we say body is left behind. The body basically is a matter, and the body does not decimate. Yeah? What are you saying? Body dies, that's fine. But still, body does not become non existent. Decimated means gone, absent, totally. Body conserves itself in other form. Ah, it has come from five elements and still it will remain in the form of five elements. Whatever the air is there inside will go out as you cremate. As it burns, slowly The water is there, that also will be dried up. That's how body shrinks later. Initially, it bulges due to certain chemical processes, but later it shrinks and shrinks because the water which gives the shape to the body goes away. And then earth merges into earth. If you cremate really on the pyre, it just turns to ashes. The space which is there inside it, well, merges into this infinite space, right? So basically, what is the thing which really become absent, non-existent? Tell us. Hmm. Body definitely conserves itself into a new form. It's a matter. And we'll bring science now. In fact, matter, even if you say, Swamiji, we even burn at a high temperature this ash also, then it will slowly disappear. Correct? Very good. Still it is saved. Still matter is saved as energy. Matter is conserves itself into form of energy. Energy gets converted into matter. E is equal to mc square. Scientists have proved it. And therefore, the body basically conserves itself. It doesn't decimate. It's only form. A new form comes. So energy is not destroyed. There is no chance for energy getting destroyed. Energy is also in one form or the other. Right now, I'm spending energy. Somebody told me like this, Swamiji, energy ultimately you spend energy and energy goes away, decimates, become totally non-existent. I said no. He said, you are speaking, you are using your power, speaking power, energy. What is the form in which it has converted? I said it has converted into a form of a heat, literally. When you speak, your body temperature increases. The surrounding air also becomes hot. Hot means the temperature variation. Energy also is converted into one form or the other. And therefore, so nothing is exhausted, nothing is decimated, matter energy is conserved. Then the conscious being who is conscious of the matter and energy, which definitely is the matter and energy is proven in consciousness. Yeah? Who talks about matter? Where is the concept of matter? The concept of matter exists in this, or concept of matter exists in consciousness, conscious being. Concept of energy exists where? In inert thing or in conscious being? In conscious being. So all this matter, energy, etc., exist, right? They are proven in conscious being. When matter energy doesn't get destroyed, how come you say consciousness is destroyed? How come you say? And even if you want to say that. Give us your valid means of knowledge to prove matter remains, energy remains, but consciousness dies. Give us. But how come you say matter, energy remains? That's how I brought science. If I talk Shruti, you will not accept. If I tell you the name of scientist or science, you will be immediately, because you cannot challenge science. You don't have a strength to challenge science. There are years of research and etc. have proven this. This one thing doesn't go away. They have their theories so far as creation, etc., is concerned. But in this, there is no basically uh, a, a, any second opinion. Energy gets converted to matter, matter gets converted to energy, and that's what we find. Even an atom, which is let's call a matter, that's how atom the fusion, right? They break. What happens? Oh my God! So much of energy. So that shows that atom or the subatomic particle, which is the basic particle of the creation, is nothing but what? Energy. Because when you break it, it produces so much of energy. Therefore, matter and energy, matter is a gross form, energy is just a subtle form. subtler form. Hmm. Conversion is all the time there. Anyway, and therefore, I am the observer. If matter cannot be destroyed, energy cannot be destroyed, then what is a pramana? What is a means of knowledge you have? Well, to say consciousness is destroyed. No, I don't have any means of knowledge. If without means of knowledge, if you say something, it is belief. It's belief. And therefore, and if it is belief, I'm not going to believe what you say. Hmm. Any belief is never valid, is subject to correction. Knowledge is not subject to correction. Belief is subject to correction. Today, what you believe. Swamiji, I believe this person is a very nice person. I believe. Or he may say like that, oh, Swamiji, I know this person very well. And he's such a nice person. So I believe, because I believe others' words. Okay? For that person, maybe knowledge, okay? Because he may have experience in various manners, fine. But when he talks to me about that person, I will say what? Yeah, okay, since I trust you, so what you say about the other person, I believe it, that he is a nice person. But my definition of nice person is quite different. You know, how will I define nice person? One who helps me when I need money is a nice person. And then, I needed money. And now there is in a list of the nice people, he's a recent addition. And therefore, I just immediately called that I want to meet you and all that. And there itself, the way I said, he sensed. He said, "What's the work, Swami?" I said, I need a little money, and for in that connection, I wanted to explain what is a difficulty, and so I want to meet you and all that. Oh, that's the matter. I had a issue. In fact, I need a lot of money. So I was thinking, Swami nowadays getting a lot of money. Look at that. My belief that he's a nice person changed. Belief is subject to correction. Knowledge is never subject to correction. Yeah, never. And if it is subject to correction, you have not used a valid means of knowledge to get that conclusion. Therefore, if you just say Atma is decimated, and suppose you say, I observe, I saw the Atma is absent. Hey, one who observes, that is Atma. Okay? One who is conscious of the absence of Atma, that conscious being, that consciousness is Atma. What will you say now? Could you follow what I'm saying? Hmm. So, anyway, matter energy is not destroyed, it is just a vesture. And well, but then wait a minute, don't go, Swami. You say Atma Nasti, I don't have any means of knowledge. You say Atma is, okay? You are going to say, Swami, Atma is. What is the basis for you? What's the means of knowledge for you? And he thought I would not answer. I said there is a pramana for that. What is a pramana? What is the means of knowledge? Shastra. Yatha karma, yatha shrutam. And therefore, Shruti tells this. Dehinosmin, Bhagavan also said, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara, tatha dehantara praptihi dhiras tatrana muhyati. This old man was talking to me, right? And he said, well, I said, hey, where did you study? You have to say, ask a simple question. Think when you have a time, only you ask. Hmm. You ask to a one person, old person, I'm not here, I'm okay. So, don't look at me like this. I'm just saying, you ask one question, only one question to a old person, and that too you have a time. Yeah. Where did you study? Swami, do you have time? Yes, yes. Look, I studied in so and so school in Coimbatore. And that's fine. That's so. No. Then that's in primary school, so and so name, he said. And then for a secondary education, I went to Chennai. And I completed my secondary education. That's in between, some stories also will come. Something happened in that, and what number or what, how he was in education and all that, and then related to think there are certain sports in which sport he liked, and everything will come. But I don't have time. Otherwise, half an hour will go in this. Okay. So then he said, "Well, I continued, my studies in Chennai only. I studied in so and so college and all that. That's it. Where did you study? It means it is over." No, Swami, then I married. My father was, putting pressure on me. As I became engineer, my father was putting a lot of pressure. My mother was with me. I said, let me get a good job. Well, mother said once that, your daddy has earned a lot. You don't worry about it. You will get the good job. You have studied well and all that. But then, father was saying, no, you have to, because I don't want to see you going here and there and making friendship with other girls and all that. I have a certain issue of prestige. Well, and then so I married. And then Swamiji, we have two sons. Yeah, he didn't ask anything. We have two sons. And now they are married. One is in Bangalore, other is in this place, and they have themselves. So I have a grandson, and I play with my grandchildren very well and all that. And then we moved. And recently my wife passed away. And now I'm alone. Look at that. In this itself, the presence of Atma is there. Whole story is a story of a one person, one conscious being, right? One conscious being. He started from the childhood to this. Story of a one person. Person remains same, not the second person has come, but the body has transformed totally. Where is the body of the child in that old person, 80-year-old? Where is it? Not a single cell, not a single cell of the child body is there. They say every 7 years, the whole body undergoes transformation. Every 7 years, means not exactly after 7 years, body decide, oh, 7 years is over, let me change whole. Slowly, certain cells die, new cells come. Like that, after 7 years, you find the body is completely changed. And in fact, in terms of appearances and so many things, but the person inside, that conscious being who is talking, who has all these experiences, is one and the same. If I am the body, body is conscious, and therefore consciousness is Atma, and therefore I am the body. Huh? In that case, the old body died. That childhood body died. Then child person also died. No. He recollects all the experiences. Person remains same. Person may start from the even birth also and talks up to today. That shows one person inside had all this experience of childhood and youth and everything. Even though the body has completely transformed, that conscious being has not transformed, is one and the same. So that conscious being, which is changeless, is present in this constantly changing body. That proves that I am distinct from the body. If I am body, that child has, then in that case you will not have any experience of the childhood, because that child person also has gone. That Atma has gone, because child body. I am body, Atma is body. Then the child body died, already gone totally. Then that person also has gone. No. You had experience as a conscious being from throughout the life. One person, one conscious being. So, in spite of body, mind, your emotions also change. The emotions of a child are no more there. Many emotions are processed. Certain emotions are not processed, lying inside and, harassing you. All there. But it also undergoes a change. Your knowledge has changed. As a child, whatever the knowledge is there, well, that may be there, that we cannot go, but then you have acquired new knowledge. You have become engineer, this, that, etc. And with your experiences of the life, you have gathered so much of knowledge. Oh, Swamiji, I have seen many Diwalis, they say like that. They've always talk. Because I have many experiences. I'm very wise. He wants to prove that. That's fine. But my point is, so the person inside is one and the same. Therefore, I, the conscious being, is distinct from the body. The body undergoes change. I am changeless person. Means what? That conscious being, well, is not subject to time. The body is subject to time. Therefore, it undergoes change. What is subject to time undergoes change. What does not undergo change definitely must be not subject to time. And therefore, why not that conscious being can acquire another body? Because even if the body dies, he doesn't die. He is distinct from the body. Therefore, that conscious being, why not it acquire a new body? What's a pramanam? That's what we say. That's what we say. Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Veda, everything talks about it. Okay? Therefore, yatha karma yatha shrutam. Depending upon the type of the karmas the person had done, he will acquire a new body. Bhagavan said, Dehantara prapti. Acquires a new body. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. This dehi, one who is obtained in this body, who is present in the body, that is conscious being, had experience of a kaumaram of the young age, yauvanam, young adult, etc. And then jara, old age, etc. One and the same person had experiences. There are not multiple persons. That is a different thing. Multiple personality disorder. That we are. I'm not talking at this moment. But the normal person. Well, even there also the same conscious being, but due to certain childhood issues, there is a multiple personality disorder. It's a disorder. We talk about the person who is born naturally. I mean, in the order. Anyway, so this is our pramana. And further, we cross even the Shraddha in the Shruti. We can cross that. And definitely, we talk about further also. And the Shraddha gives you a pravesha in the Shruti, entry into the Shruti. That you definitely acknowledge the validity of the Shruti statement, Veda statement. You acknowledge. That's called Shraddha. So that's fine. And you quote it. Afterwards, no need of Shraddha. Yeah, what is that Atma? And you expose yourself to teaching and you are getting knowledge. There is no Shraddha. I'm sure right now all of you will not have this. I should have Shraddha in what Swamiji says. I should have Shraddha in what Veda says. Right now that thing has gone. That was before. You cross even the Shraddha, faith. That is initial. Now you are already exposed to the teaching. You are in a process of knowing. That's it. Over. And the reality of that jiva is, when you expose to this shastra, is kutasthaha nityaha. Bhashakara said in the previous para, kutasthaha nityaha, etc. Idanim pranishu vartamanaha. And therefore, it is present right now in all the human beings, in all the beings. As a seer, obtains as a seer, hearer, etc. Being a conscious being, naturally will have experiences. Experience of the world through the senses given. Without consciousness, no experience is possible. That's how this thing doesn't have any experience. Even if I lift in a hand, it doesn't know that I have lifted in my hand. Otherwise, it will shout, put it back, put it back. Okay, okay. It doesn't say. So therefore, and that jiva well basically is utastha nitya. And not only that, SwM, it will be there tomorrow because it is not bound by the time. Anything which is time bound by the time will be born in time, will go in time. That's a body. And unnecessary, I mean, because of ignorance, you are saying I, the Atma, is body. You are thinking you are subject to birth and death. And therefore, you are saying also there cannot be a rebirth and there cannot be past birth also. I'm born with the body and I will go with the body. Body will be, Atma will be decimated. Body is decimated, Atma is decimated. So, Pramana being there, you have to simply understand. You don't have reason to negate. No reason to negate. Reason cannot be negated. What is said by the Shruti stays. So there is no reason for you to say there is no Atma. And even if you say, we'll accept it. Show us pramana. Through which means of knowledge you employ to gain this so-called knowledge, there is no Atma. So, nyayataha apraptaha api, rationally also, can be established. But Shrutis, Bhashakara says, swavachanena shrutya pratyuktaha. Saeva adhyaha, that Atma, the Jivatma, which is Angushtamatra, is right now, Vartamanaha, Saushvaha, it will be there tomorrow. It will be there tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. Not subject to time. Not subject to time. Anything which is subject to time changes. Even if a person doesn't wish, a person doesn't wish that I will look a old person, right? We even try to show that time doesn't affect me. So we do the color here. Sometime all kinds of things we do. I am of 85, but no, I'm sweet 16 to show that. That shows you love timelessness. Understand this. You love that time should not affect you. What you love may be your nature. Will be. I can tell to you that because we have done enough. But for the person who wants to listen carefully, what Shastra talks about as a means of knowledge. And therefore, what you love must be your nature. You love silence, peace, yes, that's your nature. You love joy, happiness, fullness in your life, that's your nature. If it is my nature, why should I search? That's what the issue is. That's what the issue is. Anyway. So, nyayataha apraptaha. So, asiddha. Apraptaha means asiddha. Rationally also we can establish we can refute the paksha of these people who says there is no Atma. So, but Shrutya. So, Vachanen Shrutya Pratyukta. We have answered. Shruti has answered through his own words in this mantra. Sau eva adhyaha saushvaha. That is indeed today. It is present in all the conscious beings as the very experiencer, without which no experience is possible. That experiencer must be a conscious being, and therefore Atma is a consciousness, distinct from the body, the senses, the prana, the mind. Mind is experience or not? Mind is experience. That's what you talk to others about your own mind. Without having an experience, without it being an object of experience, you cannot talk about it. Whatever you talk about of anything, it must be an object of your experience. Simple rules. Look at that. Simple rules. You may talk little, you may talk at a length, but you talk about it. Means it is an object of your experience, object of consciousness, object of knowledge. Okay. So two ways. One who obtains in this Sharira is the one who obtains in Ishvara. That's what we saw. And therefore the Ishvara is, therefore Atma is. In Taitira Upanishad, in the many, it's in a different way Brahmanand Valli proves. There also this question comes. Hey, is there this such a Brahman or not? Such a is there Ishvara or not? Huh? That is this that kind of question. Is there Ishvara or not? And majority people in the world will say what? There is no Ishvara. There is no. Oh, if I say I am Ishvara, show me. Show me. I am ready to believe. Show me. Where is it? Where is Ishvara? Hey, I am in front of you. You are in front of me. I am in front of you. Okay. Can you see Ishvara here? No way. I can't see Ishvara in you. I am ready to punch you. Okay. Over. Yeah. There are several reasons Bhashyakara gives there. That question arises there. It's also, is there Ishvara or not? Very beautifully answered. Same way here, a little differently. Yeah. So, one who obtains as the truth is of oneself is the truth of the Bhuta Bhavyasya Ishana is the Lord of time. One who is a Lord of time is free from time. One who is bound by the time cannot be the Lord of time. One who is a Lord of the time, naturally time is under the lordship of the Ishvara. Could you follow? Ah. One who is bound by time cannot say, I'm Lord of the time. Lord means master. Master of the time must be free from time. Hmm. Look at the so more you think about it, more you churn it, more butter you get it. Ishanah bhuta bhavyasya Ishanah. In terms of time, well placed, Atma is Sarvatma, being Ishana. So what was here, what is here, what will be, all that is Ishvara. That's it. What is Ishvara. Then Swamiji, I am. Instead of is, I will say I am. That's what we say. I is Ishvara. That's what it is. Swamiji, you are. I have to use not is but are. You are Ishvara. Right? He is. He is Ishvara. I can't tell my neighbor, my spouse as Ishvara, okay? You have to take a lakshana. So there is no such thing as Nasti. Look at this reasoning also. Atma Nasti nahi. There is nothing called Nasti. Show me a one thing which is non-existent. Tell me one thing, not show me. That show me means it is there. Tell me one thing which is totally non-existent. One thing, just one. Billions of things are there. They are all existent. Tell me one thing which is non-existent. Nyayatah. With reasoning, we are proving Atma Nasti. There is non-existent. Atma is non-existent. We say forget about Atma. Prove one, give me a name of one thing which is non-existent. Swamiji, hair on turtle. Hair on turtle. Look at that. Hair on turtle is there. At least I was to give my example, but now still there are few. My friend is sitting back, but even a little bit also. But hair on turtle, look at that. To say a non-existent thing, you have brought two existent things. Turtle existent or not? Yes. Hair existent or not? Yes. Right? I have to give contrary example. So hair is there, turtle is there. So there is no total non-existent. You say hair on turtle, non-existent, but then hair is. Turtle also is. I am telling you, give me a one thing. Tell me one thing. You have to use just one word. You are combining two existent things with an unholy combination. Yeah. That cannot be like square circle. Square circle. Law. Swamiji, non-existent. But circle is existent. Square also is existent. That unholy combination, imagined thing actually it is, then it is non-existent. I am telling you, tell me one thing, just one thing, which is totally non-existent, where I should not find when I analyze any existent thing. You cannot. So you will say, Swamiji, whenever you say, look at that, when you say non existent, you will ask immediately, non existence of what? Right? Non existence of what? That of what is existent thing? Look at that. Now this is better. So, in my hand, the clip is there in my hand, existent. Now, clip is non-existent in my hand. So, suppose I say there is an object which is non-existent in my hand. Let's say you immediately ask, what is that thing? What is that non-existent thing, Swamiji? Clip. So, what you ask about of what is an existent thing or not? And therefore, basically, when you say anything non existent, well, you will immediately ask non existence of what and non existence where also. Hmm. Like, there is no flower on the table. No flower. Flower non existent. You immediately say where, because on Lord it is there. But you say on table, Swamiji, it is non existent. So, non existent where? So, that where means table, again existent. Non existence of what? Flower, that also is existent. Totally non existence, you cannot think of. Immediately you have to say non existence of what, non existence where, etc. And therefore, you don't have any way to see non existence because all that is here is one existence. And therefore, all that is here is just one is. One is. No, Swamiji, space is, time is, chair is, table is, Swami is, car is. There are many is. There are many is. No, there is only one is. All the is, right, in this creation belong to only one thing. And that thing is. You people are thinking this person brings a masala every morning, evening. It's not. It's not masala. We have discussed that. The ease of the ornaments in a jewelry shop. Okay, now understood. Count jewelries. Thousands and thousands of jewelry in a big shop, jewelry shop. Easiness of every ornament belong to only one thing. That is gold. That's it. So same way, easiness belong to only one thing. Even though space is, time is, this is, that is. There is only one existence. What is that, Swami? Self-evident consciousness. Okay? Self-evident consciousness is. Everything exists in the consciousness, and therefore, non-existence of Atma, you live it, please. You live it. The very non-existence cannot be proven in creation because all that in the creation is. And anything which is not there, absent, and you say non-existent, again, that thing may not be at that place. Right? Like I already told you. When you say this such and such thing is absent or a non-existent, then you will say where? I say, Swamiji, Uh, or let me say, I say that so and so person was absent, non-existent, absent, let's say. So where? Where? You thought I will say in class. No, 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 in dining hall. Okay. Could you follow? Ah. So basically, immediately you have to bring place which is existent. You have to bring a non-existent of what object? That object exists, right? So how will you, a absolute non-existence, how will you prove? Absolute. It's all relative. Relatively, you can say, oh, flower is not here, etc., etc. I told you. Relatively, you can say, total non-existence you cannot perceive. That's what we answer to even Shunyavadis. There is no Shunyam, Buddhist, nihilist. There is no Shunyam. Sarvam Shunyam Shunyam. They take the Ghanta in hand and Shunyam Shunyam. Sarvam Dukkham Dukkham, Sarvam Kshanikam Kshanikam, Sarvam Shunyam Shunyam. Four noble truths. Nothing you cannot prove. One who says there is Shunyam, all that is there is Shunyam, one who says still is. Therefore, absolute Shunyam cannot be there. One who has even concept of the Shunyam, or one who says, proves, let's say, chalo, one who proves that there is Shunyam, that person is. But somebody, that person also is Shunyam. Let him say, okay, I am Shunyam. Then I am. That I am means I is. Then where Shunyam is, there how can easiness will be there? Shunyam means non-existent. Ease means what? How will you prove that Atma is Shunyam? One who negates everything, one who proves non-existence of everything will ever remain. And therefore, this Nyayataha and Shrutya, Svavachanena, Saevadyaha, Saushvaha, etc., etc. And lastly, Bhashakara says, Kshanabhangavadasya. Kshanik Vijnanavada. Kshanabhangavada means Kshanik Vijnanavada. It's a one school of Buddhism. And Buddhism as a religion, it's very, very similar to our Sanatan Dharma also. They also have several worships. Several karmas are there. They worship Buddha actually. Yeah, they don't believe in Ishvara. And Veda talks about Ishvara, who is material cause, efficient cause of the creation, maker material both, etc. And they don't accept Veda as a pramana. Still, they have worship. Imagine, Veda enjoins so much worship to Ishvara, then they have made Buddha as a lord and they worship it. Anyway, and they have rituals also. They believe in karma, like exactly like Veda. Ultimately, it's an horizon. Earlier, Buddha was a Siddhartha, and he was grown up in a Hindu family. Anyway, so they have rituals, they have karmas, they have reincarnation. They believe in reincarnation. That's how they say. The new Dalai Lama has already. They say they all see horoscopes and so many things. So anyway, so we are not talking about the religion here. Kshanabhanga Vadasya also Pratyuktaha, Bhashakara says. So this we have answered to even Kshanik Vijnana by saying that Atma can never be non-existent, etc. So we are basically just talking, answering to that school of thought, right? Which is talking about Kshanabhangura Kshanik Vijnanavada. Kshanik Vijnanavada, Vijnanam is again Atma, consciousness. Kshanik Vijnanam. Atma is basically Kshanikam. Pratikshanam Nashyati. Every moment Atma dies. And then a new Atma arises. And then that dies. Momentary. So a flow of a momentary consciousness can give rise to a semblance of continuity. So you say Atma Nitya, actually Atma is Kshanikam. But it's a flow. Like you must have seen even in the movie in the theaters, they have a reel And in that, there are frames only, all frames, continuous frame. But then when it runs on that projector, it runs in so fast that you feel the continuity. You won't see the frames. You see the continuity. So even a actor who is doing like this, something like that, suppose, then we may feel it's really movement, but actually it's a reel that is moving in which the frames are there. First will be like this in first frame, then in second frame it will be like this, in third frame it will be like that, really. But when it runs in a motion, you feel a continuity. Same way, Atma, which is kshanikam, it is born every moment and it dies. It is born, dying, but continuous. Therefore, you say Atma Nitya. Tell your Bhashyakara, call him or do a WhatsApp message and tell him that this is not fair. Atma is Anitya, momentary. Anyway, thought is like this, that we know. Thought is momentary, that we know, we accept it also. But momentary consciousness, well, that is not true. We also ask the same question. What's the means of knowledge for you to tell that there is momentary consciousness? Atma is kshanikam, momentary. What's a means of knowledge you have to tell that? Every moment Atma dies. What is a means of knowledge? They say, well, they don't have a pramana. Thought is momentary, and we say, look at that. We tell that thought or the mind as the upadhi of the Atma, because the momentariness of the kshanikatvam of the thought is superimposed upon the Atma. Therefore, it is upadhi. Could you follow what I'm saying? Therefore, the kshanikatvam of the, because all that is there in the thought, we have done the meditations, all that is there in the thought, the content, right? The content of every thought is what? Atma. And therefore, if thought is momentary, you feel Atma is momentary. Could you follow? So we say the thought, the attribute of the thought called momentariness, kshanikatvam, gets superimposed upon Atma, which is the adhishthanam of that, which is the truth of that. It is exactly like the momentariness of the wave is superimposed upon water. And you say water is momentary. ये क्या बात है? Water is not momentary. Water is the adhishthanam in which wave arises and subsides. The very content of the entire wave, content of the entire wave is what? Water. Where is wave without water? Please tell us. All that is there in and through the wave, all over the wave, is what? Water. It's just a form is superimposed. Form is momentary. Form is momentary, but which is mithya, which cannot have an existence independent of the content. Right? Same way the content is Atma. This every thought is like a wave. They compare like that also. And therefore, so a thought is momentary. It's consciousness like the water, etc. And momentary, in fact, a momentary consciousness cannot say I am momentary. To say momentary, it should be there before it arises. What is this, Swamiji? How can it be there before it arises, before its birth? Could you follow what I'm saying? I am momentary, I'm kshanikam. To say that, I should be there before the moment, before I arises, I should be there. And as it ends, after that also I should be there. If I end, and then I will be there to tell that I have ended. What is this? What are you talking? Could you follow what I'm saying? To say momentary, I'm momentary. Well, I am this moment, that's fine. I am this, but you can't say, I am here right now, consciousness, etc. You can say. But I am momentary consciousness. To say that, it should be there before, I should be there before I arise. And I should be there before, after I go away. Then I can say I am momentary. How can I be there? Once I ended, how can I be there still? to say where I have ended. It's like saying after death, Swamiji, I have died. Or before birth, Swamiji, I have taken birth. Kya baat hai? Foolishness, height of foolishness. But why they say we know? The superimposition of the attributes of a thing which is too close, non-separate. A wave is non-separate from the water. Therefore, the attributes of the wave called momentariness, person may superimpose upon the water and say water is temporary, which is not true. Even before a wave arises, water is. As the wave arises, water is. As the wave ends, water is. There is no momentariness in water. And therefore, well, obtaining consciousness, that consciousness which is present can't say I'm momentary, etc. And so, definitely, Shastra says Atma is Nitya, consciousness is Nitya, timeless. What is timeless can never have a momentariness. Yeah. But and suppose if I ask them, what is the pramana you have? We say the pramana is there, means of knowledge is there, and we can explain you in a reasonable manner also. But what is a pramana for you to say that Atma is conscious, momentary? Well, I saw consciousness comes and goes. Wow. Hmm. Consciousness comes and go. One who says that I saw consciousness comes and goes, that person is consciousness, okay? Yeah, about that we are talking. Who is even witness to what? Momentariness of consciousness, that is thought. Momentariness of the thought is witnessed by someone. That's how any thought which can create, which can provoke a conflict with the others, you say, well, I'm getting angry. Either I will leave or you leave. Huh? And now then you call back. No, no, hey, you are angry. I don't want to. No, no, it has gone. Look at that. It has gone. You are the one who knows. You are very much, you know also that before 5 minutes you were not angry. You tell to others also. I don't know now how I got angry. And after some time you say, well, I am no more angry. Don't worry. So there is one who is witness to the momentariness, not of consciousness, is a momentariness of thought. Yeah. But since every thought, the content of every thought is consciousness, therefore you superimpose the momentariness of the thought upon consciousness. Then that sense, now that every thought or the mind is called upadhi, right? This is when you understand the reality, then you can explain this kind of experience or momentariness of the consciousness, etc. And every thought is conscious because, as I told you, the whole thought is ultimately consciousness because the Vrittigata Chaitanya is there. Like the sun gets reflected in certain surfaces, sunlight is available everywhere, but still there are places where sun obtains as a sun, right? It gets reflected. So that kind of, I think vritti is like that. Anyway, so this is Brahman. Etad Vaitat. This is what? Etad Vaitat. This is what about which Nachiketa you asked this question. Okay. Now let's go to mantra number 14. Yathodakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidhavati evam dharman pruthak pashyan tanevanu vidhavati. So now in the final section of this first valli, this 14th and 15th, these two mantras, Upanishad points out that this Bheda Darshanam, there are many Atmas, many selves. One is separate from the other. Atma is there Atma is different, and here the Atma is different. That Veda Darshanam, the duality, etc., will lead person again doing Ninda. That Veda Darshanam, that Dvaitam, right, duality, well, which is there due to the ignorance of the self in a person, that will lead towards more and more samsara. And Abheda Darshanam, well, alone is will lead to moksha. That is what it has been said. In the 14th mantra, that Veda Darshanam is criticized. In the 15th mantra, Abheda Darshanam is praised. That's how the Shastra wants to convey here at the time of conclusion, that may you all the time, right? All the time strive through the teaching for Abheda Darshanam. That's how I call that as a, this is called Arthavada, one of the linga in a Shadlinga for Tatpari Nirnaya of the entire section. So a Gnani, well, all the time is aware of that he is Brahman, right? Angushtamatra Purushaha, Ishana, etc., etc. So he experiences the world, but the world being, well, just appearances, names and forms. He will not see oneself as Brahman, totally, he doesn't see the world separate from himself. He doesn't see the Ishvara separate from himself. He doesn't see any Jiva separate from himself. When I say Ishvara, you have to take immediately Jagat. Because let me tell you this. Same Atma, consciousness, Brahman, with respect to Jagat, is Ishvara. Therefore, suppose if I say that, this Ajnani does not see himself separate from Ishvara, then in your mind, this thing comes, then not proper. There's one just form. Then you will, once you imagine a form, then all you imagine even a place also. And then you will see such Ishvara may be sitting somewhere. So I am non-separate from that. When I say Ishvara means the Jagat. Because same Atma alone with reference to Jagat is Ishvara. Same Atma with reference to this physical body is Jiva. Clear? Clear? Since both being mithya, there is identity. Would you follow? The names and forms, total names and forms, samashti, or this veshti form, physical body, etc. And if one sees a division in this one Brahman, whole Brahman now, well, indivisible Brahman, that leads to samsara. Because you will always, all the time, if you separate yourself, even if you are not, then that sense of separation leads to a sense of insignificance, sense of lack, and that leads to self non-acceptance. Whenever you are aware of, whenever you forget yourself, you are happy, and whenever you remember yourself, whenever you are aware of yourself, you are not happy. When you forget yourself, you are happy. In a waking state, in a moment of joy, you forget yourself as an individual. In a deep sleep state, again, you forget yourself as an individual. Okay? Therefore, that shows that what you think about yourself is a mistake. And if it is a mistake, what is proven? Ignorance is proven. And it's a mistake regarding self. So proves there is a self ignorance. And this teaching gives the knowledge, knowledge being opposite to ajnanam, ignorance. It knocks off ignorance and the notions, error, mistake born of that ignorance. So this is your experience. So that's how people take drinks, people take drugs in order to forget. People take this, all kinds of things. These are all escape routes. These are all escape routes. Various escape routes are there in the world. Not this. There are several. Person may just, He remembers him. He faces himself when he's alone. So he just gets up and calls his friend, "Oh, let's go to walk and let's do this." Or you go to club. Ultimately, you want to forget yourself. Ah, you want to forget. Because in your awareness, whatever the self is known to is all mistake. Because there is self-ignorance with which you are born. Therefore, whatever you judge about yourself is a mistake only, error. And it's all based on body, mind, sense complex. That's your measurement. You measure yourself just from the standpoint of body, mind, sense complex. And that is always limited. It is time bound. And so you take yourself as a limited being that give rise to a sense of insignificance, sense of lack, sense of being very limited, dependent, etc. Subject to birth and death, like lot of things. And then there are fears of which are born of that insecurity, etc. This is samsara. That's Veda Darshanam. Veda Darshanam. Seeing oneself separate from everything. That's it. So, in fact, this mantra, is a repetition of mantra 10 and 11. In the first part of this mantra, it's not a, I mean, it's a very limited example, okay? We don't extend too much. Very limited example here and even in 15th mantra. But in the first part of this mantra, well, an example is given to illustrate this point. That when there is a rain on the mountain, so yatha udakam durge vrishtam. Vrishtam udakam durge. So when there is a rain on the mountain top, initially the water is in the form of a single stream coming down. And it starts flowing down. And slowly, when it comes down, gets divided into small, small portions, right? And somewhere all in different kind of different smaller streams, etc. Or streaks of lesser and lesser water. And and that kind of a streaks or a stream, small streams, not that mainstream. That small, small streams and streaks, etc., they get dried up. They get dried up. So the big stream is like a Advaitam. And whereas the small streams, they are all the divisions. So just as division causes ultimately the disappearance of a stream of water, similarly, division of a one Advayam Brahma into many, many jivas, right? In that also so many categories, including even devas and kinnaras also. Taking oneself to be separate from anybody, any jiva, or insentient thing, or Ishvara as such. Well, ultimately, that division, seeing division, not division is there, but seeing division in indivisible Brahman will cause ultimately mortality. Just as one stream of water, when it came down and divided into small, small, small streams or streaks and gets evaporated, dried, same way, here also, this in Advayam Brahma, one who sees such kind of a division, then ultimately, not you get dried up, but so, because now, Swamiji, I also get dried up from the example. You can tell, because samsara is like a fire. You can tell that. Samsara is a fire. What burns your heart is called samsara. That's our definition. What burns your heart is your samsara. Fear burns your heart. Yeah. Fear burns your heart. Sense of lack burns your heart. Sense of loneliness burns your heart. Sense of void burns your heart. Yeah. Sense of being not included in certain group, WhatsApp group and this group and all that. Not included. Swamiji, I am living in community, but they exclude me. All is burning inside. And then anger, etc., will be also there. Anger and then jealousy, all burning. What? So you can say, I get dried up, okay, if you want to. But basically, as you enter into this mortality and samsara. So this is a very limited example. We should not try to expand and look into all aspects in order to match with your this one. And one point which is to be noted here is the word dharma is used here in the second line. Evam dharman pruthak pashyan tanevanu vidhavati. Word dharma here is used for atma. And I will explain you why atma is called dharma. Dharma has a many meaning. It's also another versatile word, like our yoga and other things we discussed yesterday. Same way, even this also is a very versatile word. Dharma, several meanings are there, but one meaning is very Atma itself. And why it is called, the Atma is called Dharma? Because the Dharma, the ethical standards, right? The value structure, that right and wrong, right? Awareness of right and wrong, etc. Yes, which sustains the world. Dharayati sarvan, right? Dharayati sarvam, let's say. Dharayati sarvam iti dharma. What sustain basically is dharma. And therefore, definitely, the same way, Atma sustains entire creation. So what you find between, the harmony between in the entire creation, that's called dharma, which sustains it. And that is how the whole creation is. Ah, the like that's how some cycles have been shown by Bhagavan in a third chapter. What is that? Uh, but anyway, words I don't remember right now. But it says that from the ocean, the water evaporates. The sun basically, offers itself into the ocean, and then definitely from ocean, the clouds arises. So ocean also has done offering. It has terms of giving its own water to the in terms of vapor, and then clouds. Then clouds basically offer themselves as the very rain then to the earth. Then earth offers itself in form of foods. Then food itself offered, right? Food itself offers to a stomach and ultimately turns into a seed of a man and then seed of a woman, and ultimately a human being is born. And therefore a human being also should offer, because he is sustained, he is born and sustained by the yajna, which is called dharma, by the offering of the entire creation. Entire creation is in harmony. So, therefore, you also being a part of the universe, you also live a life of harmony, a offering to the creation. That's called dharma. Means dharma sustains the universe. This dharma, offering, attitude of offering, yajna, sustains the entire creation. Same way, Atma sustains all creation. That we know very well, right? All the things are proven existent where? In consciousness. And therefore Atma alone is real, an ultimate sustainer of the world. And therefore Atma is sometime called Dharma, as in as in here, as well as in mantra. I will tell you another mantra where it is used in 1121. You check there. There also word dharma is used for Atma. So now let's just see the meaning. Yathodakam durge vrishtam parvateshu vidavati evam dharman prasat pashyan tanevanu vidavati. Pashyan dharman. One who sees. Now you understand. Pashyan dharman means pashyan jivan, pashyan atmanah. Dharman means second 2 by 3. And so Atma also 2 by 3 is Atmanah. Atma Atmano Atmanah. Atmanam Atmano Atmanah. Bhashakara of course says Atmanah. So anyway, so Pashyan Dharman means Pashyana Atmanah. One who sees these jivas Pruthak, differently, separate. Anuvidhavati will definitely goes after them only. Means one who sees oneself separate from everything else means one who is embodied, one who identifies with these bodies, and he lives life like that. Even if he leaves body, he will be again embodied. He will be born again with an identification of body, that body. That's what it says. Anuvidhavati. He will go after that only. One who says the differences in Atma, well, he will be born like that, with that vision only, that everything is different from me. That's what it wants to say. It's a basically, criticism of a Veda Drishti. Evam yatha, just as, take an example. Udakam, water, Vrushtam Durge, water which is rained on the mountain, Vrushtam. Durga means Durgama Pradeshe, on the mountain, high mount, which is very tall. It has fallen there, it comes down as a stream. So just as the water rained on the mountain, Vidhavati runs down Parvateshu, on the slopes, comes down, becomes small streams and streaks, and ultimately disappears. Right? What's the fate? We say, what is the fate of this ultimately? Gone with a Beda Drishti. Veda here, not Drishti, but with a Veda, ultimately disappears. Same way, one who has a Veda Drishti will definitely is taking birth again and again. And with the same Veda Drishti means he will face samsara again. He will never come out of, he will never become free from samsara. Right? That much we can understand here. And if you allow me, I will just complete this mantra. And just small bhashyam is there, and then we can have only one mantra to be seen on Monday, because I want to start certain nididhyasana session where I am nityaha, aham asangaha, unconnected to everything, aham shuddhaha, and etc. Few are there, which I want to take in that few sessions. Because going to the second valli and keep it, incomplete is not fair. So every valli is for us the entire Upanishad we have studied, starting from Sadhana Chatushtaya to everything. So that way we will keep the study and along with Nidhyasanam also. So let's finish this much portion. Yathodakam Durge Durgame Deshe Uchrite Vrishtam Siktam Parvateshu Parvatavatsu Nimna Pradesheshu Vidhavati Vikirnam Vikirnam Sat Vinashyati Evam Dharman Atmanah Bhinnan Prathak Pashyan Prathak Eva Pratishariram Pashyan Taneva Sharira Bhedanuvartinah Anuvidhavati Sharira Bhedameva Prathak Punah Punah Pratipadyate Ityarthah. Yatha udakam, yathodakam. Yathodakam means yatha udakam. Just as. Yatha means just. With an example. Just as water, yathodakam, vrishtam, Bhashyakara says siktam, means from the pouring rain. So just as water from the pouring rain, where uchrite, uchrite. Uchrite means unnate, which is on the top of the mountain. The rain has fallen on the top of the mountain. And what kind of that high place? Well, the mountain, Durge, Bhashyakara says, Durgame Deshe, which is very difficult to reach. Yeah, there are certain mountains you can't reach. Very pointed and very solid. You can't do mountaineering and go there. Such a place like that. Yatha Durge, Vrishtam, Siktam, so rain which is there, which has fallen there, water which has fallen there. What happens? Well, falls down, ultimately flowing downwards on the slope of mountains. That has been indicated by just one word in a Shruti, Parvateshu. And Bhashyakara then explains it. Parvateshu. So on the mountains. But then we have to understand everything. So Parvatvatsu Nimna Padesheshu Vidhavati. Bhashyakara. So Parvatvatsu Nimna Padesheshu. Well, the mountain which, the water which has fallen there, which will flow down ultimately on the slope of the mountain to the low Nimna Pradesheshu, to the lower areas of the mountain. Parvat Vatsu Nimna Pradesheshu. And then what happens? Vidhavati, Vikirnam Sat Vinashyati. So gets subdivided into small creeks, etc. And as they flow, then ultimately gets dissipated and disappears. Vinashyati. Then now this example is over. So we have to write in the similar manner, in the same way. Well, dharman, we have to, but so dharman pashyan. Who is pashyan? I mean, the pashyan means one who is seeing. So the Ajnani only. So this Jiva who is Ajnani, he sees what? Dharman. So selves as many, right? Self as many. So, see, in the similar manner, one who sees the Jivatma, one who has this notion about the self, Jivatma, Dharman, Atma, to be distinct in every body, Pruthak eva pratisharinam pashyan, Pruthak eva pratisharinam pashyan. Bodies are many. But well, therefore, bodies are many, and therefore, self also is many. That way, if one is seeing, so therefore, sees what? Binnan, Pruthak Pashyan, sees them as many different Atmas. Tan eva sharira bheda anuvartinaha anuvidhavanti. So, then in accordance to that many different bodies, well, definitely he will also gain a new body and he will also have identification with that body and will also have the same Veda Darshanam and Samsara, etc. So he will again and again follow the same idea of different Atmas in different bodies. Sharira Bhedam eva. So first he said Sharira Bheda Anuvartinaha. And eva Sharira Bheda Anuvartinaha. So he will follow Tan, Vedan only. He will follow this thing only in the next birth. Like that. So Sharira Bhedam eva Pruthak Punah Punah Pratipadyate. Bhashkara explain. Only in a Shruti, Pruthak Pashyan only is there. Pruthak Pashyan. But what? Dharman. But what does it mean? So Bhashkara explains whole thing. So again follow the same idea of different Atmas in different bodies. He is born with this. I am different, everybody is different. I am different, world is different. I am different, you are different. I am different, devas are different. I am different, kinnaras are different. All are different, different, different. Different bodies, different Atmas. Yeah. Not that indivisible Brahman, which is the reality. He doesn't know. Doesn't know, that's fine. In fact, he is Brahman, right? But he doesn't know, that's fine. But that if he doesn't know himself as Brahman, then he will take himself as a Brahman, Jiva, limited being. That haunts throughout the life. One struggles in life. Remember this. One struggles in life from insignificance to significance. One wants to have significance in life. That's it. To gain significance, one goes after money, another goes after power, another goes after something else. We have done all this, we have checked. We have done, not done, but we have this kind of discussion we have already done earlier. Paranchikani vetrunat swayambhu prang pashyati nachantaratman. One wants to gain significance in life. In fact, I am seeking significance from you, that you please tell me that you are a very significant being. That's it. That's a poor story. If you prove significance on your own, that's another thing. But you are seeking significance from others. If they say you are okay, I say I'm okay. If they say you are not okay, I say I'm not okay. That's a height of the thing. Samsara, struggle. It includes even dambha also. What you are, instead you show that you are really something else. Very important. Yeah, where were you? Oh, Mr. Modi called me, do you know? Oh, wow. Wow. He was here in some galla, pan galla, somewhere. Roaming here. Hey, where are you? Oh, they had a very a high level economic forum. And I was called there. And I had to rush. So I was not here for 4 days. Seeking significance. Because you have taken yourself as an insignificant being. Your journey is this. Nothing else. You are not interested in anything else. You run after thing, you run after a thing which for you, you know, gives a promise to you in your eyes that, well, you pick me up, I will make you significant. That's it. That's the thing. That's your own projection. That's your own projection. That's how you go after it, you gain it, and you live it also. You run after something else. This is samsara, Ved Drishti. And you are born again with the same thing, wasting human life. Human life, you have the capacity to know you are infinite. If you live the world without knowing that, the loss is infinite. Loss is infinite because you are infinite and you don't know it. Suppose the person has a lot of wealth. Just think, in India, it happens. So that because they say earlier, that's how all these people used to come, the French and all this, they used to run to the India. A lot of gold and this and that. And suppose under your own house, inside that earth, there are some, the pots filled with gold coins and all. Still, they get sometime. When they excavate, they remove the old building and to make a new. And then when they, for the foundation, when they do, then they found something. Suppose one has that kind of a thing, but one doesn't know whole life, and one lives life in a frugal manner, right? Then we say he has a loss of infinite. Could you follow what I'm saying? He has infinite, yet he lost. He has a loss of infinite because Paul not knowing that he has. Anyway, so this is how this idea means if nanatvam is which is there in the drishti only, if nanatvam is there in your perception for the world, for yourself, means taking yourself different from everyone else, then the person will be born again and again with the same drishti, and samsara will continue. And on the other hand, if one doesn't have this nanatvam, but one has the vision of ekatvam, identity with the entire creation, then what happens to him is said in a last mantra. We'll see on Monday. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.